Good evening, members of Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. How's everybody doing this evening? You seeing lights is because I got lights on the back porch. I just want to say hi to everybody from Spiritual Encrypted Encounters here on Facebook. Those who follow me on YouTube and those who follow my short reels on TikTok under Abe CS. I hope everybody is doing great this evening. You know me, I just pop up and make a video. Whenever I feel a certain way, I just want to say to everybody, thank you for being a member here, and for those new members that keep on coming. I like to do the works that I do. I'm gonna lift my glasses up. I might take them off and put them up here because the glare. Um, I just want to say that I like doing the works that I do. You know, like playing some of my pictures, short reels, and doing spiritual works. You know, and I try to listen. I'm a team player, or should I say a team player? But I like to listen to everybody when somebody invites me to their live feeds, or they're doing something through YouTube, StreamYard. You know, I try my best to attend everybody, to support everybody. You know, I try my best to be there for anybody that requests. For me to be there as support. Um, you know, I always talk about always maintaining Love Foundation and stuff like this. Tonight, I was listening to Brother Grizzly's podcast, and there was a person that was going through a lot spiritually, and I believe this individual needs spiritual help. So I just finished watching that, and I'm gonna continue to keep that person in prayer. We'll see what happens with her, but I know that there was a lot of activity going through Live Feed because we were doing prayer, and there's unseen forces that don't like this. They don't like when they've got a stronghold over somebody through spiritual bondage, and people coming in through prayer and rebuking it through Jesus Christ's name. They don't want the person to listen to spiritual advice in any kind of way, in which there was a lot of activity happening, just in my end, and just in about everybody's end in the live feed. Those that, excuse me, there's a lot of pollen in the air right now. But there was a lot of activity happening. Some of the activity that happened as we were praying, because I was praying from my end, lights were flickering. When they were making the video, the person they were praying for, their lights were flickering. My light started flickering where I'm at, and I seen the apparition was seen to be something demonic, so I rebuked it in Jesus Christ's name. But that's what happens when there's spiritual openings, when you go into prayer, things like that can happen. So there was a lot of activity that happened on that podcast. You could say paranormal activity, where the individual, we prayed for the individual, and their lights were flickering where they lived, and then lights started flickering where I live. It was. I just heard a noise out here as I'm saying this video, like a yell. But anyways, I'm gonna continue. So, and I seen the image of something on the wall. How you doing, brother Alfred? How you doing? Uh, I prayed and I rebuked when I seen that image of a demonic entity. Uh, it showed itself to me on the wall, looking at me in my room. So I rebuked it in Jesus Christ's name. But anyways, when we do spiritual works or pray for somebody, things like that can happen. since it was a live feed, there is, they can transfer themselves through this kind of outlet, through a live, so they can move in that manner. You want to call it through electronic device, through the 5G towers. They can transfer themselves in that way. But that's the things that I experienced tonight as I was listening to a podcast. And you could tell that this person, I seen the, how should I say, the oppressor that the female had. It was within her, and it was smiling at the camera. Spiritually, I could see it through her looking at us, and when we started praying and rebuking it, it's like he was laughing, like had a smile through her. Uh, I'm going to see if she needs spiritual help, see how I can assist her spiritually. That's what I believe my heart is telling me to do. Uh, I know Brother Carlito was there on the live feed, and I know that his heart is telling him the same thing. But this person is being spiritually attacked by his demonic forces. But besides that, brothers and sisters, as we prayed and rebuked it in Jesus Christ's name, I love doing this, the works of the spiritual works. I know them is my thing say spiritual and encrypted encounters. To make a long story short, I used to have a site called Positive Spiritualist, right? When I started doing my works in Positive Spiritualist, I was already going through the spiritual battles that I was going through in Elms Grove. Um, so I would take pictures and make videos just to keep my sanity when I was being spiritually attacked over there, so I can relate to the person on the live feed today, where when you're going through something spiritually, you don't really want to say nothing to nobody because people are gonna think you're crazy or they're not gonna understand you. How you doing, Brother Carlito? Uh, uh, you want to keep it to yourself, because like me, I'm a veteran, right? So already just by that, the first thing somebody thinks about a veteran, oh, they got PTSD. That's the first thing they'll say. No difference in when I place a photo or make a video. I say, oh, they're just spiritual Abe. He's not a believer of Bigfoot or Dogman. He's just a spiritual person. So he doesn't matter. He's not like us. It's kind of like somebody tries to categorize you to place you in a certain category, you know. Uh, but basically, what I went through in Elms Grove, I created a group called Positive Spiritualists just to place my pictures there that I would take, or place videos that I would make, spiritual videos, just to keep my sanity, and also uh, to share later on in the future with people. Like if something were to happen to me, I was making a live feed, was there so people could see what happened, or so they could see what was happening to me. So like, when I created Positive Spiritualists, that was my number one group. So I was doing works on live work or live feeds for a while. I think I placed a video of the works that I would do there, and I was getting a lot of people. I was helping a lot of people spiritually, but I had to leave that area because a lot of the people there, they want to do cards and all this kind of stuff, which that could be a spiritual opening. So that's why I kind of left the group. It's kind of like every time we'll talk spiritual, there's somebody wanted a reading or something, and of cards. As I'm spiritually grounded with the spiritual, I do have psychic. I ain't gonna say psychic abilities, but I'm able to know the spirit. So things will come to me automatically in that nature. But you have to be careful because you know that's not good to make a connection like that. Not unless you really have to when you're helping out somebody spiritually. So I had left the side, and as y'all know, I met Mr. Big Condiff, somebody from the group Light Worker. It was called Light Workers, Light Feet of the world. Somebody's wife contacted me. Brother, it was brother. What was his name? Shoot, he passed away. Well, he contacted me to contact Vic Condiff, and that's how I got into the cryptid community stuff. People say, "Oh, you're just trolling. You're a troll. You're this." No, it was never like that. I was never in no Bigfoot groups or dogman groups or nothing like that. I was doing my own thing in spiritual and cryptid and on positive spiritualist. Like I said, I created that group for me. So when I went into they made the show, started getting people, about the Dogman this, Dogman that. But I would always say, even on Dogman Encounters episode 53, I would always say it was something demonic because of the time frame it happened at 3 in the morning. So then, I started running across people that didn't like me bringing the spiritual aspect of the possibility a dogman or a Bigfoot or any cryptid could be demonic. They started hating that perspective, and that perspective had nothing to do with me being a troll or believing in a Bigfoot or a dogman. No, it happened because what I was going through, of what I experienced and what I witnessed. That's why I share my story with Mr. Vic Condiff, in which the unseen spiritual forces that were attacking me were manifesting to look realistic. When I mean realistic to the T, it looked like a 5-dimensional being, almost human-like, or not human-like, but real. When you see something crawling on low to the ground, and then does a mid crawl, but you're looking at it and you say that's not a dog because it's too big to be a dog, and then it goes a little bit higher and you say, well, that's not a dog. Is it a deer? And then when it stands up, it's like, whoa, that's no deer. And it looks at you and you're like, what is that? And it takes off running down the street and goes in between the home. And when you're chasing it, you see a bigger one. I seen the one that looked reddish brownish, and then I seen the black one, which might be the alpha. What the cryptid community call it alpha. And the reason I'm saying this right now, because it looked so real. Like, when it looks real, what happens when something looks real? You start believing in it, right? So after several manifestations that it took for it to look real to me, and not just to me, because the ones that witnessed it also was my nephew, who witnessed it. We chased it down the street, right? Just imagine this: how real it was that you could hear it running down the street, and the way it ran, it was like a. It was not a regular run. It was like a long, like a bouncing. It bounced with one foot, and it had a long how should I stride. So it was leaving us back real fast because it was way taller and had a long stride. And it went it went into the park. You could hear it going to the creek where, because there was water in the creek, you could hear the branches breaking and the water splashing. So when you hear all these things right here, right, you're like, whoa, it's got to be something freaking real, right? So once I believed it was real, because I had numerous encounters there, where there was one where I was sitting in the park, and I would always hear that when people are looking down on the ground for tracks, well, in Elms Grove, look up, because I remember at nighttime you could hear something clawing on the trees, way top of the trees or the oak trees. You could hear like something scratching or clawing on the trees, right? There was one evening I was at the park with my nephew, sitting down there, and a big old oak branch broke. When it broke, right, you could hear the thump on the back of the picnic table where the branch broke. It was huge, and then you see something land beside me, and it's like 4 to 5 feet away from me, and it's looking at me, man. I mean, it's literally looking at me. I could see the body and everything. I was like 6 foot away from it, and right there in that area, there's a light. It's looking right at me, you know. So I remember it looked at me, and I looked at it, and it turned real fast. It turned its face, and it ran into the creek, and it broke through some branches and trees over there. Right, you could hear the commotion, and then it came back into the park as it broke other branches and trees, and it ran across the park to the area where I had the encounter later on, where I was surrounded by six. Right, so when you're experiencing this kind of things, even then, right, even then, when you're experiencing something like that, it's like you really don't want to say nothing. You don't want to call the police department and say, "Hey, I think I saw a werewolf. I think I just saw a dog man," because they're going to hang up on you, or they're going to think you're on drugs. They're going to make a come and check you out, and they want to take you in because they think you're on drugs or something, right? So it's kind of like I can't call the police and say that. So it just the only witness I had was my nephew, and we just looked at each other, and we were like, "What the hell was that?" Uh, when that happened, it's like there was other things that I witnessed also. There was one time I stepped out of the house and I witnessed another one that when people talk about the goat man. If y'all know what is it? Not a centaur. The one that's half goat. Well, the one from Hercules. There's a little creature that's like the body of a goat and half human, like half human from the face. Well, I've seen something like that also staring at me. So when you're seeing all these things, you're like, man, what's going on here, And as I'm seeing that, there's other activity that surfaces up. I'll start seeing this pyramid-like freaking UFO flying overhead with a beacon light that would radiate, and you could see the whole pyramid-like silhouette of this giant UFO, that was hovering where we lived for about a month or two, when a lot of this activity was happening. So I can relate to when people say, well, they say that when there's sightings of Dogman, Bigfoot, or there's also sightings of UFO, right? But we got to remember one thing, brothers and sisters, that sometimes those are the abilities that demonic forces have. They have the ability to manipulate the environment. They have the ability to take over of any form that beastly form that they want. They have the ability to look like orbs, to look like angels, to look like a flying object in the air. So it's like I had like three things that I was seeing. And those three things. Then I started seeing the dark shadow figures that were coming out of the wood line. So it was like a lot of things were surfacing up, and I was like, why am I seeing all these things? Why am I seeing these things? How can you see? I can see so many things that are there that I'm facing, but I can't say nothing to nobody because who's going to believe me, right? When you're witnessing all these things, nobody's really going to believe you. And it's like you're afraid to share your story because there's always some a-hole, right, that's going to say something bad about you, or they think they know it all. And because they haven't experienced, or they think they some kind of experts at something, but they're really full of crap, because they haven't been through what I've been through. So basically what I'm saying is I witnessed a lot of things there that happened in Elms Grove, whether it was something directed at me, it became a spiritual battle, because after all those manifestations, it started attacking me as an unseen force, right? That's why after my original positive spiritualist, because of all the people coming up against me, it got permanently deleted. My Facebook got permanently deleted, so I had to recreate positive spiritualist, in which positive spiritualists stopped growing. So I created Spiritual Encrypted Encounters, and I had a backup profile, a fake profile that I used to be able to get all my pictures off my old site, to be able to create this new group, you know. So I know how it is in, should I say, in whether it's spiritual, paranormal, or any kind of group, how there's a lot of people within the groups. You know, some are good people that I've met, and there are some that are just backstabbers, you know, that they don't want to talk smack about you, but they don't have the cojones, right? I would say it, to tell you in your face, but they want to talk behind your back. I know of a person, you know, I ain't going to say his name. I'll call him Deputy Dog, or I'll call him Barney Fife, where this guy don't like me because he don't like the spiritual aspect of it, right? So every group he's admin of, this how much of an a-hole he is. Every group, that's Brother Jesse right there, every group that he's an admin of, he won't allow any of my pictures or videos in there, because he thinks that he's in a higher echelon, right, than me, or that he thinks is better than me, and he's not. The only thing I can say, you know, that this guy sends me why he rejected it and all this stuff, but he don't have the cojones to let me know in my face, you know, or to contact me to Messenger, so we can have a talk, you know. He never does that. But with people like that, those are the people you have to look out for. And, you know, I don't wish nobody against anybody, but people like that, you know, it's like I dislike. I'll just say it like that. I dislike because they're not honest people. So, to get to the point of everything, the works that I do and of everything that I speak of is because it's of true events, true things, you know. And I know, check it out. There was a person from a Bigfoot group that contacted me, and they said, I see you in my groups, right? That's what they said. And I said, really? And I said, what is your groups? And they said, Bigfoot groups. So I see your postings, you know, and it's like two of the Bigfoot groups that I've been on, they've, you could say they kind of blocked me from posting anything. So I said, okay. So I asked the question now, why are you on the Bigfoot groups? How you doing, Brother Alfred? I said, why are you in the Bigfoot groups? So I'm there because I love my people that are in the groups, and I'm a believer in Bigfoot, you know. I listen to what the hunters say, you know. So I ask him questions like, okay, I asked this individual, it's a female. I ask her, okay, so I ask her, so do you believe if a Bigfoot is 100% flesh? She said, oh yes, it's 100% flesh, and it has the ability to go through portals into another dimension, through portals. I said, okay, well, what kind of portals are they, you know? And she said some names of some portals, you know. And so where do they go to? So, well, they go back to where they come from, through the portal. I said, okay. So they're you said they're 100% flesh beings with the ability to go through portals. And she say, Dogman can do that too. And I said, okay. So then I ask her, so don't you think that maybe it's a possibility that it's not 100% flesh, but it could be something, a disembodied form, a spiritual beings, because it sounds demonic, because demons can manifest in and out of a realm spiritually. Do you think that they might be demonic? She didn't say nothing to that. But then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she said that she claims to be a Bigfoot extraterrestrial from another planet. So it stayed at that. So, it's kind of like stuff like that is like, it reminds me of what I was going through. So, but you see, I never said I'm a Bigfoot extraterrestrial from another planet. Yeah, I'm human. So that was the last conversation we had. So it's kind of like makes you wonder what kind of people are really. You got those kind of people that said they're like. I think there's another dogman group where the people within the group say they are werewolves. Believe it or not, that they all say they're werewolves, and they all have werewolf names. Believe it or not, I post I post my videos, my pictures in there, because all they post is no difference in the Bigfoot community. They post like just pictures that are cartoonish or that somebody created of a werewolf, to look a certain way, but that I haven't seen no proof of 100% of anything in the Bigfoot community or the dogman community that for anything to be legit. Like, like I see a lot of people in costumes with his fake videos of whatever, that's what I've seen. I'm waiting for that evidence, that the real evidence and what I'm talking about. And I've talked about this before, Brother Carlito, what I've talked about. And you were there, Brother Carlito, when I made that video. You wanna jump on the live, or you're busy? You remember you was there when I made the video from the picture that I just posted of the one that I call Yin Yang, that's black and it's got a white face. You were there when I was doing the live that I told you that I said on the live, I think something just passed right beside me real fast. That's the area where that picture is from. You remember that? When I said in the video, I think something just passed right beside me, and I looked real fast because it passed real fast, like a blur. Well, that's where the picture's from. From that area, The latest one that I called, I need the yin yang, I sent you a message where I told you 2 years ago, me and my wife were going to one of our cousins' wedding. One of her cousins was going to get married, and as we're going the back road to Killeen, I see any creature just like that, but it was smaller, that passed right in front of us. But he was running on fours, and you could see like a white face. And I told her, "Did you see that?" Well, I believe that might be the same one that crossed in front of our vehicle. Might be, they say that when you cross paths that they might follow. So I don't know whether it was something real. It looked real when it crossed the street, or whether it's something paranormal. The only thing I know, whatever the case might be, they can blend very well in with the environment. If it's a real creature, they said that a lion can run 100 meters in 3 seconds, right? That's what they say. A lion can run 100 yards in 3 seconds. So if a lion can run 100 yards in 3 seconds, imagine how fast that is, like a blur, right? Well, these creatures most likely move a lot faster than that, because the only thing you see is like a blur, like a shadow. That's how fast they move, whether they're real or not. No, I'm just going to leave that up to God because, like I said, I don't give nothing power to. But yeah, that's what the where the pictures from is from that video where when on the video I might go back to that part because it passed. I was making the video like I don't know if I had the camera the opposite way. I might have had it facing the other way when it passed behind me, and when it. So what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to go get into the video and see if I can lower down the speeds to see. When I just want to go to the part to see where the camera was facing forward or towards me, just to see if I can debunk it more. But anyways, you know, basically what I'm saying is nobody's gonna knock my spirit to do the works that I do. You know, whether some people see what's within the picture, and there's a lot of people that see a lot of picture, and then there's some people that are just trolls. You know, as we know, there's a lot of trolls. That's one thing I don't allow in my group. You know, I want the people in there to be real. If there's somebody acting a fool in my group, you know, I boot them out because whether, you know I'm trying to get to a certain kind of viewership, but at the same time, I want it to be real. I want people that are optimistic, that are willing to listen to any angle, you know, whether they want to believe it's real, whether they want to believe it's spiritual, whether they want to believe it's from another dimension, whatever, you know. I just want them to listen, you know, to be open minded, you know, and that's what a lot of groups don't want. They don't want people. This is what they don't want. They don't want people to think for themselves, right? They want to micromanage the people. You know, there's a lot of groups like this. You know, where they'll say something bad. For example, of spiritual encrypted encounters. They'll say something bad about Paranormal Kingdom because they don't want people or their followers to join our groups or to listen to our groups. But I'll be getting people coming to my group from those groups. Some of those groups that might have said something bad about me at one point in time. They're following me on TikTok. They're seeing the short reels that I create, and to see the pictures that they're able to see things. You know now. You know because they're as just kind of like what I encountered in Elms Grove is it was a spiritual experience. So when you place a spiritual picture, and there may be, if they couldn't see it at the beginning, but as I continue to place the spiritual pictures, their spiritual gifts start opening up, and they're able to see them. What they couldn't see at the beginning, what might have been a blurry picture or whatever, but now some of those people said, "Look, man." Some people say, there's people that'll say, "I don't see nothing in your pictures. I never see nothing in your pictures." And it's that one person saying that, and I have like 100 likes of the pictures, you know. So I know that they're full of it. They probably see what's in there. They just don't want to accept what's within the picture. Then you got the people that are joining my group because they are seeing the things that are within the pictures. I've had people contact me and say, "Man, I'm kind of afraid to see your pictures because every time I see one of your pictures, I see the thing that you're showing, then I see a lot more. So I get kind of scared, and I don't want to look too much into the pictures." And I said, "I understand that. So I'm just doing my spiritual works and placing them out there so people could see." You know, and of course you got the people that say, "Oh, that's just pareidolia." That's the answer. That's the answer that I hear from the Bigfoot community, or from people that want to, they still continue to say they're 100% flesh. "Oh, they're just pareidolia. Oh, they're just pareidolia." But you know what? The difference between my pictures and what they have, anybody can make a cast of anything. Anybody can make a cast of anything. Anybody can get a hair from any kind of animal. But I really haven't seen something legit. Like, you know, there's no dead bodies or no Bigfoots, no dogmen, nothing legit in that manner, you know. Me, I'm just showing the spiritual the spiritual side of it, in which a manifestation can look so real, to look that real. You all seen the picture of yin yang. That's what I said I was gonna call him. Yin yang, a white face with a black body, looking right at me. You know, you see the pictures. It's right there, and I have other pictures that I hadn't even put out because I didn't want to put so many pictures and flood the internet with a lot of pictures that people say, well, this guy. What they don't understand is that it's the pictures that I place are screenshots from a live video. You know this, Carlito. A live video that I debunk. I go frame by frame, and that's when I capture them within the live videos as I'm debunking the video. So it takes time to debunk a video, and that's how I catch the images of them. Like I said, TikTok. There's proof there in TikTok, short reels where there's some that you can see it moving. I got a couple of nice, good ones there where you can see the head moving. You can see it go straight down into the ground and disappear. Disembodied. They have those abilities to enter a realm and leave a realm. Through manifestation. Sometimes before when I rebuke them through Jesus Christ's name, they disappear. You could smell sulfur, right? There's times when they would enter our realm, right, in manifestation of a beastly form, and the only way I knew is because it would smell like pestilence, something rotten, something real nasty smell, and it would be all around me. That's when I knew that there was a presence of something around me. Because of the pestilence smell. So when I would start rebuking it in Jesus Christ's name, the pestilence smell will leave away. It will go away. But that's how you know when it's coming in and out of a realm, it leaves a certain smell, a certain stench. Another thing, they have the ability. I remember when I told you the story of when I was a kid, that one evening that there was a lot of noise outside the home, and we could hear different animals like horses, like a wagon and a whip. We could hear goats. We could hear elephants. We could hear lions roar, and all kinds of animals, noises that were outside the home. And then we had 4 lots. It was 2 lots and 2 lots, and our grandma lived right beside us, and we're hearing all these noises. And the 4 lots were in a fenced area, right? So all night, my mom's praying, my dad's praying, and we're hearing all these different animal noises making ugly sounds, right? When the sun rose, we went, finally got a little bit of rest. We got up, went outside. There was crap everywhere on the 4 lots. The yard was full of crap. Right, so me and my brother spent that Saturday morning, or should I say Saturday day, shoveling crap, putting it on the wheelbarrow, and carrying it to the backyard. It was trying to figure how that happened, because the crap that was in the yard was different kinds of crap, or different kinds of animals. So there's no way, there's no such thing as lions or elephants in South Texas, or there's different noises that we're hearing. You're like, what was going on? My grandmother tried to say, oh, it was just nothing. It was just a dog. That's not what we were hearing, right? So we shoveled. We took all the crap. Finally finished like around 4 or 5 in the afternoon. We were tired. That evening, which was Saturday evening, the same shit happened. Excuse my language. The same thing happened. We're hearing all these animals. Same thing that happened the night before happened again. So we're praying. Following day, same thing. Me and my brother have to shovel crap all day. And before that happened, we had put our grandmother made us put pieces of wood underneath the fence. The fence didn't even have no gaps, right? So, and we tied chains around the fences with locks, padded locks, and the same thing happened. We had to shovel shit, and we're like, how did this happen? Well, guess how it's going to happen, guys. Can they leave residue? Well, yeah. They left crap that me and my brother had to shovel for 2 days. Do they have the ability to leave residue? Do demonic entities have the ability to manifest in one area, in one location? Yes. Do they have the ability to leave residue? Yes. They left crap behind. You know what? If I knew about all the things that I know now, I would have saved some of that crap so somebody could analyze it to see where it's coming from, right? I would have gotten a sample of each pile of crap that I had to pick up when I was a kid and save it for this cryptozoologist people to analyze. It manifested out of thin air and they disappeared out thin air, but they left residue. Is it possible that they could leave a footprint? I'm more than sure it's possible. If they could leave crap that's behind from manifesting into this reality, leaving something behind, I believe so. They can leave something behind. I've had experiences where I could be walking, right, and a coin will fall out of thin air, whether it's a 50-cent piece, a 25-cent piece, a dime, a nickel, it'll land right in front of me that is coming from somewhere else. So it's possible that there is, people want to say it's a portal. Maybe it's coming from another dimension. But I've seen this, so, I've seen this. It happened in broad daylight. The only thing I'm saying is to the people that say the dogma is 100% real, the Bigfoot is 100%. Well, I can debate y'all. Whoever wants to talk about it, but I don't think they want to debate me. I don't think they want to debate me because, like I said, the only thing they can do is contact it through Messenger, and they said they don't accept. They don't bring God into the picture. They don't want to bring any spiritual aspect to the picture. I can debate him or I can prove it to him. I can take them to Elms Grove so they can witness it for themselves, right? All these people that say that they're professional investigators, I'll take them to Elms Grove and prove it to them of these things that they call Dogman, Bigfoot, or whatever. All I can tell you is this: that this DDN, this embodied demonic Nephilim, or you want to call them demons, whatever, they have the ability to know what's up in here, what you're thinking, and they have the ability to manifest to whatever you're thinking. So imagine this: those people that believe in Bigfoot, they believe, guess what? They're going to see Bigfoot because they're going to take that manifestation. If they're believing in a dogman, he's going to take the manifestation. They're going to believe in a Mothman, he's going to take the manifestation because they have the ability, demonic entity have the ability to know what's within your spirit, right? Then they can read your mind. So they're going to take the manifestation. If somebody's going to go out there and yell, hear those people yelling for a Bigfoot, he's going to yell back at them. He's going to yell back at them from a distance because it wants them to believe that it's real. Why? Because he wants a spiritual opening. What does it want a spiritual opening? To bond them from people like me, trying to awaken them spiritually, to bond them. Well, you know what bondage means, brothers and sisters? I know everybody's got their own way of thinking. It wants to bond them from their spiritual senses, that they're not going to be able to see the reality of the unseen. They're not going to be able to hear the reality of the unseen. And if they can see, they can hear, they're not going to be able to speak the reality of the unseen. I can speak the reality of the unseen because of what I've been through. I've been spiritually tested and I've been spiritually gifted with the spiritual gift of discernment. That's why I do this works. Uh, if people want to say that it's BS, what I'm saying, hey, we can go to places. I know there's a lot of places here in Central Texas where there's hot activity. I witnessed it. This gift that I have has always been with me since I was a kid all the way up to now. And I know y'all know my past because y'all have heard, but whoever has taken the time to listen to my story, my upbringing, what I've been through, they know, right? I know a lot of hot spots here in Central Texas where there's activity. Like it's going to surface up real quick. I'm gonna tell you a story. When I was in the army, right? They put me in a detail. This one I was a young sergeant. I had barely gotten my rank, and I don't know if y'all heard of Maxdale Bridge. Y'all heard of Maxdale Bridge? I think y'all heard of Maxdale Bridge here in Texas, right? They said it's haunted. Well, I didn't know about a Maxdale Bridge. By Maxdale Bridge, there's an old cemetery because that's down that in that area. When I was in the army, there was get details to clean up certain areas. So I was in charge of soldiers to go pick up trash in the woods, right? Uh, there was this area where they said we had to go clear out this old cemetery where there was like soldiers buried, like an old cemetery, and a big old piece of land, right? So I went out there with the soldiers, and there was their detail. We were picking up trash, and we spent it all day. It was the sergeant with the deuce in hand came to pick us up. So all the soldiers, I told them to run to the deuce, so we can go home. They're running because they're ready to go home. So as they were running towards the deuce, this what happened. Figures of people dressed in a different time era started appearing on the wood line. And then the sun was still out. They were following me on my left side. I would say it was like 10 to 12 of them came out of nowhere. And they're looking at me. And I had to ignore them of what I was seeing. Some of them had this old dresses or grayish dresses. It's like people from the past, and they were looking at me, trying to talk to me. I guess they knew that I could sense them, so they appeared, and I just ignored them. They were to my left side. The sun was still out, and I got in the deuce half, and I said, "Let's go, let's go." But I didn't know that that's the area, what people call Maxdale Bridge. That's the area where the airport where soldiers used to live, the old airport where the big planes would come take us to go to like Fort Irwin or to overseas. That was the area where the mech flights and the army military aircrafts would take us to go to our training grounds. Where we want to go train, whether it was Fort Irwin or to go overseas. But yes, there's a lot of hot. How you doing, Brother Eric? There's a lot of hot areas in Central Texas, and it's not just Central Texas; it's everywhere. But the reason I'm talking about this is when people tell me, people that think, yeah, I don't mind going anywhere. I've seen a lot of things. I'm nothing's going to scare me because I've been through it. Uh, the reason I'm making this video is because when people tell me that they want to believe their stuff is 100% legit, I disagree with that because I know that to everything that's living or dead, you know, any animal with a spirit, natives know this, right? Natives know this. That anything that's living or dead, there's one thing that we can relate to the living and the dead. It's what's within us. It's a spirit. So you cannot leave the spiritual aspect out of anything that you claim to be 100% real. Because if it's 100% real in the flesh, then he has to have a spirit. And the spirit is what is the connection between the living and the dead. That's why you cannot leave the spiritual aspect. And natives know this. That's why they have the little figurines of the bear, of the eagle, because everything has a spirit, right? The little totem poles, the eagle, the bear. They could have a possum on there. They could have a raccoon on there. I'm gonna name you. Uh, I'm gonna name you Little Raccoon. I'm gonna name you Gray Wolf because you cannot leave. Natives know this. So how is somebody that's a Barney Five or a deputy dog? I'll say Barney Five. Claim to say their shit is 100% legit, but they want to leave the spiritual aspect out of it. You can't. You can't leave the spiritual aspect out of it. They will make you a liar, you know, because it's about what ifs, right? There hasn't been no bodies of any dogman, any Bigfoots. The only thing there's been is stories where people claim that they kill a Bigfoot, they kill a dogman, but there has been no bodies that surface up. Why do people do that? I already know why they do that. They do that because they want to continue the trend of it being real, 100% real. That's the only reason they do that. Because trust me, if it was real and I had the opportunity that I had to fight for my life and I had to take it out, just like in the military, every kill you get in the military, right? It's a kill, it's a confirmed kill, in which we have to put it in a body bag, right? If I were to run into something like that, imagine how many hunters that are within the Bigfoot community that said they've killed deer, they said they killed this and that, but they haven't killed a Bigfoot or a dogman or any other kind of cryptid. How is that possible? Because maybe this how it's possible, not possible, or possible. Maybe because they're not 100% flesh. Maybe they're of the spirit, like the natives used to say, or people want to call them indigenous people, Indians, whatever they want to call them. They knew, they named Sasquatch, named them Sasquatch to the people, because it translates for Bigfoot. But the natives called Sasquatch, and they said he was demonic. That the Sasquatch taught the natives, I guess like the shaman and certain witch doctors, he taught them witchcraft and necromancy. And not just the natives here, I'm talking about all the tribes, all the tribes in the world, even in Mexico, where there's the Aztecas, the Mayans. They used to sacrifice people, right, for power. They would sacrifice women, men, children for power. But it's because of what was taught to them by, they want to call them Sasquatches. I call them DDNs. Disembodied. They got taught this. And some of these people got deceived to sell their souls, right? They made a bargain. They made a deal for power. So a lot of these people that learn these abilities, that's why we have For example, skinwalkers, shapeshifters, uh, brujos, brujas, or certain areas that are still haunted because these people, this they became, you could say they kind of became like a disembodied Nephilim. Their body left, but their spirit stayed, right? So that's why there's so many haunted areas, like uh, where they say, oh, there's a witch that lives in this area, is because of the witchcraft and the necromancy that they learned, that they were able to be in disembodied form now and cause chaos and havoc, just like the DDN. Guess where they learned it from? Uh, but anyways, uh, this is just I'm just making this video, just talking, just talking. Uh, I wish I could have a bigger platform where I could have a guest and stuff like that. But I just like doing this the way I do it, that I'm able to say what I have to say. I like helping people out that are going through something, just like the Brother Carlito scene, what happened on the show today with Brother Grizzly, of the woman that we had to pray for. You could tell that I could you could see what was afflicting her. She has a negative attachment on her. I could see it in her face. I know if you rewind the video, Brother Carlito, to that part when he's asking her a question, you could see something smile at the camera. He had asked her something, and she just smiled at the camera a certain way. That was a demonic entity that was within her. Uh, but I'm glad that we prayed against it. I wish I could go over there and help out, go cleanse her house or help her, but she says she messed with a Ouija board. So that could did she mess with a Ouija board? Why would she mess with a Ouija board? Does she believe in God? Does she believe in something else? She said she's a paranormal investigator. So does she use a Ouija board every time she goes investigates? How many times has she used the Ouija board? Well, that by itself could be the problems that she might be having right now. Uh, Leaving a spiritual opening where something came through the Ouija board, through like a portal. But anyways, I was just venting here a little bit of, talking about a lot of things. Quick. What should I say? Just venting of my thoughts. Of what to do next. Like I said, I was really thinking about creating another site, dealing with the DDN, but I don't know yet. No, I don't know yet because it's with what I have right now. Spiritual cryptid encounters, and I think that should be sufficient. But yeah, man, I've run into all kinds of people that come up against me. Whether it's from the Bigfoot community, then you got the people that believe in the yang, the yin and the yang. They believe in the yang. They come up against me also. So it's like, but the biggest thing is sometimes when I go investigate, it's kind of when you go investigate, it's kind of like you're living like an opening for yourself. That's why I pray, wear my protection, because that can take a lot out of you. I know, when's the last time you've been out to investigate, Brother Carlito? But that could be, that's tiresome for me, because I fight the spiritual battle of the unseen war. So when I'm out there, man, it comes hard, man. So that's why I haven't gone out in a while. It's been like about 3 weeks. When's the last video I made? But anyways, is there any questions, brother, that you want to... I know you say you want to do a show dealing with lechuzas. Is there any questions or anything of what I just spoke to you that maybe might wanna ask me about anything, of your thoughts of what I just spoke about. I think that's you still here. Are you still here, brother Carlito? I know I see one viewer here. I see brother Eric, or I know his brother Carlito. But yeah, the most important thing everything that I do spiritually is maintain the love foundation. You know, that's that's the key. You have to maintain a love foundation if you want to move on forward in your life without having any kind of uh, hatred or anything towards anybody. You have to maintain the love foundation. Because as you maintain to love, or somebody does something wrong to you, you forgive. As you maintain the love foundation through forgiveness, your love becomes that much stronger spiritually, in which you get blessed with the spiritual gifts of discernment. It's pretty big, especially if you're young. If you're young, if you're young and you accept this wisdom and knowledge that I'm sharing with you, it's going to make you that much greater, that much faster. Uh, but yeah, I know as we're younger, when I was younger, I just was in my own little world. So there's a lot of people in their own little world doing their own little thing. That you really don't want to hear too much about that because you got too many other things on your plate. But there will be a time in your life that what I'm saying right now might resonate to you later on in life. I think it's fixing to start to rain here. It sounds like water drops or raindrops, or the temperature dropping a little bit. But yes, who's here viewing right now? Can you? I see two viewers that is showing here, or it might be more. I don't know. Let me see if I can leave you with a story that I've never said before, that I've never spoke of, and I have so many encounters, man. It's crazy, especially in South Texas, in the Rio Grande Valley. When I grew up, there was a lot of things that happened to me over there. Uh, I guess I can tell you a story of. I'm gonna share a story with you. Well, maybe I'll save it for another day. I just heard somebody up here on the ceiling like a noise. Uh, I'm going to finish this video, but I want to finish it off uh, with something that nobody's ever heard of, or something I haven't spoken of. Well, it's a video. I never shared this. We're gonna finish this with something positive, right? This story is called. It says it's a true story. It's called the fish in the water. When I was younger, there was a bad storm that came through, a hurricane had come through, and in South Texas it gets real hot, real hot. So it's the sun. It was hot. There was a big old puddle of water in our yard because South Texas is close to the ocean, so it was a big puddle of water. And I didn't live close to the ocean. Was like 21 miles away from where I lived, and I was out there barefooted by the tree, just playing with, I don't know what I was playing with, a bug or something. And my brother was in the water, and he looked sad, and he said that he wished he could be playing with a fish in the puddle of water, and he looked sad. So what I did is I prayed, I prayed to God. I've always had faith. I prayed to God. I was probably like 5, he was probably like 6, and I said, God, please bless my brother with a fish. It doesn't matter how big the fish, just so he can play with a fish, even if it's a little fish. Bless him with one, and don't worry about me. Just bless my brother, right? So I did my prayer, and I'm playing right there by the tree. Next thing you know, my brother says, "Hey, hey, hey!" He's saying, "Abram, Abram, I'm playing with a fish. I'm playing with a fish." I said, "Look, look, I got a fish in here," and he's all happy, right? So I go to look in the pot of water. There was a little fish, very colorful little fish, and the little fish will go up to him, look at him, go underneath the water, go up and look at him. And then I said, "Oh," and I was happy within myself because the Heavenly Father listened to my prayer, right? There's no way a fish is gonna pop in a pot of water, right? And this fish had color to it. So he's playing with his little, it's like a little fish like this, like a little, it looks like a little minnow. So he's playing with the fish. And next thing you know, he said, "Hey, hey, hey, Abram, Abram, there's another fish." So I went to the fish, and there was another fish there, and then I guess the Heavenly Father just blessed me also to play with a little fish. So me and my brother are in the pot of water. He's playing with the little fish, and I'm playing with the fish. This little fish that were in the water seemed trained. It seemed like they belonged to us because one was playing with him and one was playing with me. He was sticking his head out, come to my finger and swim around, and he was right there by me. And the fish that little fish that was playing with him was doing the same thing with him, right? So we're in the pot of water playing, and my mom tells us, "Get out of the water," and we're like, "We're playing with fish." I said, "You're not playing with no fish. Get out of the water." She's at the house, cooking. So we're there in the playing in the water, and the sun, it's not setting yet, but it's fixing to come down. And the little fish that my brother was playing with, it ran. It went into a hole. So as it went into the hole, then the fish I was playing with went into the same hole. Boom! Both of them went into the hole. So my brother started taking out the water. He took all the water out of the puddle. He went to where the fish went into the hole, and he started digging and digging and digging. He was looking for this little fish, so he was digging holes all throughout the yard, looking for the fish. And he was like, "Bro, where do you think the fish went?" And he had like 20 holes all over the yard, looking for the fish. And my mom said, "What are you doing? You better cover those holes up." So basically, the moral of the story is, if you have faith and you pray to the Heavenly Father, and you pray for something, He's going to bless you with what you pray for. But it's got to be in true faith and true belief in the Heavenly Father. He will bless you. He will bless you to whatever you pray for. If you want to pray for healing, He will heal you. If you want to pray for somebody else that's going through something, He will listen to your prayer and be there for that individual. But the prayer has to be of true faith and true belief. What I'm going to do with this story that I share with y'all, the fish in the pond, is a true story. And my brother's older than me, and he remembers this. He remembers that event of me. He don't remember that I prayed for it. And the only thing he remembers is of the two fish we played in the pond that day, how he took out the water out of the puddle, looking for the fish that went back in the hole, and he dug all the holes. He remembers this. But it's about true faith and true belief. Makes you wonder. Just listen. It makes you wonder when somebody wants to leave the spiritual aspect out of something, out of You can't leave, like I said, you can't leave the spiritual aspect out of life because we are spirits. How you doing, Sister Veronica? I know Sister Veronica probably has a lot of spiritual stories or stories that happened to her down in South Texas. She's from the next, I believe, from Lyford. I believe she does have. She probably has a lot of stories to say. Maybe one day she'll get brave and share one of the stories because she lives in the next town over from where I live, and there's a lot of activity. I know, Sister Veronica. Uh, do you remember back in the day? I heard a story where there was a guy in Lyford that the police had pulled over, right? And that they seen a tail of something sticking out of his trunk. And when they opened the trunk, it was like dead animals or something like that. And they were saying that he was like into something, you know. I heard a story like that. I'm not sure it was real or not, but I remember something like that that happened in Lyford a long time ago. This is like in the, I believe, like in the 80s, like around 80, like 84, 85, somewhere around there. I heard of a story like that. But that's what I wanted to finish the story with. And I'm thinking I'm going to make a short video of that. I'm going to go back and share the story. But yeah, you got to have faith in order for things to happen for you in life. You got to have faith, you know. Like like I said, people that are in the Bigfoot community, development community, that want to live uh, Jesus out of the picture. I mean, you can't leave the Creator out of life. I mean, Jesus even created them, created all life. So you can't leave the spiritual aspect out of it. You know, uh, that's how I see it. You know, I see it that way. You know, but there is a lot of people that don't want you to talk about it. The government doesn't want to talk spiritually about anything. You know, that's why they took Jesus out of schools because they don't want nobody to know Jesus. Uh, they want to take religion out of the equation completely. Uh, it's crazy, but we're in those times where you have to stay. Just remember those before us, whether it was or great grandmother or grandmother or parents. What did they believe in, right? And I know we all have to make our own path, but we have to maintain our faith because it's going to be a time where, because I know everybody's got a next of kin, right? Here, you know, we've got family members, whether your brothers, your sisters, your aunts, your uncles, your parents, grandchildren. You know, we love them. We love our next of kin. Uh, so we have to prepare them for what's ahead. You know, a little bit at a time. And one of the things that we can do is the best thing we can do is a love foundation for them, which if we show them love, right, and whether we talk to them spiritually a little bit at a time, they're going to remember. Just like I remember those before me, they're going to remember what you say to them. They're going to know that you love them. They're going to remember if you hug them, you give them a kiss on the forehead or the sign of the cross, they're going to remember that. And that's what they're going to use later on in life. As you pass something positive to the next of kin, to the next generation. You heard that? As soon as I said that, there was a pounding sound over here. As soon as I said, send the positivity to the next of kin for the next generation, I heard a sound. But yes, we got to prepare our next of kin, man. It's very important, you know, sharing the wisdom knowledge. But like I said, I know everybody's going to make their own path, their own journey. Me, that's why I created this group, Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. Like, I told my son, because I know he's young right now, so, you know, he's working out and doing all kinds of things. You know, he's got a job, he's a manager. I said, I know you're busy right now, but if something were to ever happen to me that it's my time to go, just remember one thing: on YouTube, there's going to be a group called Spiritual Encrypted Encounters, and there's a lot of wisdom and knowledge that I left there for you. So whenever you feel down or a certain way, listen to what I have to say on Spiritual Encrypted Encounters, because I'm going to be live there, and you're going to see my old videos. That's why I make these videos, yo. For my next of kin, for my son. You heard it again, right? You heard that? Big Bang. That was louder. I'm seeing some lights. Yes, that's why I make it's trying to distract me from what I'm saying. I'm doing great, brother Chris. I'm doing great. I was just sharing, what do you call venting a little bit, venting spiritually, and why I created the group. I know I've crossed paths with a lot of people. Been knowing Sister Veronica for a long time through Facebook. I remember some of her relatives, the lawyer, her relatives. They're from Lyford, but I was in the military, but I remember people. But yeah, that's why I created it. Initially, like I said, it was for my sanity. But if nobody would have messed with my account, which was called under my original name, Abrancius, and it got completely deleted off Facebook, or was it HCS? I can't remember. Uh, I wouldn't have created this site, but I created it, and there were some videos that I lost from positive spiritualists. I wasn't able to download. The one that helped me, told me how to download them, was Brother Carlito. You remember that, Brother Carlito? I think I was only able to save 2 videos before my account got permanently deleted. But I had a lot of spiritual videos from when I used to live in Elms Grove. Yeah, but Brother Carlito's the one that told me. That's how I was able to move. Then I found this other app where I move. I can download my videos from from Facebook and move them over to YouTube. So, that's what I've been doing. That's how I've been moving my videos from Facebook, or from Spiritual Encounters from Facebook to YouTube through this app where I download the videos and I move them over there. I noticed like sometimes when I download the videos, that the videos doesn't look like that good as the original, but it's still there. I don't know if I'll ever get to 1,000 viewers on YouTube. I think, I don't know if you have to pay a certain kind of money to do that, but you know, it's like I say to myself sometimes, it's like, man, who wants to listen to Abe Sia speak? But I'll tell you what, man, there's a lot of people that contact me. It might not look like I have a lot of viewers, but there's a lot of people that contact me through Messenger, man. They ask me questions. There's people that send me pictures. I have pictures. There's one that this female sent me that at her home, and within the wood line you could see what looked to be like a native spirit of a native by the wood line. Yeah, it sure does. It doesn't matter if I upload a video from Facebook there or from TikTok, but it changes. I mean, it looks way different. YouTube. Maybe I need to purchase. I wonder if I were to purchase, because I think there's a red. It's called Red YouTube, and but man, I don't know if I want to invest in something like that, you know. But yeah, Sister Veronica, she used to be. She was a member of a positive spiritualist. That's uh group, you know. So I believe this year was there. There's a lot of people. There were members there that were from Light Worker Life Feeds. Like a lot of the members, you know, there was a lot that were from over there. There was other sites that I had created one called that I lost. It was called, how was it? Light Workers of a Love Foundation or something like that. I lost that group, but it didn't have that much viewership, you know. But yeah, it's trying to think what my next step. But that show, man, Grizzly, man, he's pretty cool, man. I like his podcast, the stuff that he talks. You know, I'm a spiritual guy, so I could resonate or relate to what he's talking about. So that's why I told him let's pray, let's rebuke you right now in Jesus Christ's name. Telling you, man, I also have an activity happening in my home. The lights were flickering. Uh, I had my lamp. It was started flickering when we were praying. Then later on, as I was looking like this, I seen the image, this demonic image on my wall, looking at me, and I said, I rebuke in the name of Jesus Christ. You know, and when I said that, the lights were flickering. When it showed itself, it started flickering, and I rebuked it, and I turned on some Palo Santo, and it went away. But yeah, brother Carlito, just let me know, man, whenever you want to do the podcast with the lechuzas, man. We can talk about brother Jess. My primo Jesse knows a lot about lechuzas, man. He tells me stories. He knows a lot about lechuzas. I witnessed them myself. I know you witnessed them, but he could tell you some stories. But anyways, just let me know, man, whenever you want to do that. But thank y'all for listening to HCS Vent for about seems like an hour. But I appreciate y'all. And if like I said, I still got pictures I got to debunk. Uh, I haven't look. The reason I haven't been out there, man, gone out no more, is because last time that I went, I felt something. You know, I felt something on my leg, and it's like for about 3 weeks, man. I was in so much pain. Like my leg was hurting so much, my body was hurting. I felt weak. So it's like whatever was there, the yin yang one. I think it must have been a yang, more of a yang than a yin, because man, I wasn't feeling it at all. I wasn't feeling good at all for 3 weeks. Uh, I took the time to re-energize, and you know to re-energize, and I feel better now. But for about 3 weeks, man, I was feeling bad. I was having a lot of heaviness around the shoulder area, around the neck. That's when you know when you have a negative attachment. When something when it attaches, it likes attaching around the neck area, head area, neck area. So you're gonna feel like if you got a neck ache, or it feels like you're carrying somebody on your shoulders, like extra weight. But that's what they like attaching themselves to. But me, I was, my leg, it was hurting so bad for about 3 weeks. I didn't want to do nothing. I had no energy. I was just tired. It's like I lost a lot of energy last time I went out there. That's one of the reasons I've taken a break, and so you know what? I'm just gonna work with what I got right now. Still got these videos here from last time, and the ones before that. Yeah, I need to debunk more. But anyways, thank you all for tuning in. I know y'all busy people. Me, I'm just a disabled vet. You know, so the only thing I do really is do this live feeds. I do those uh, those photos at a place and play video games. No, I like playing video games. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a gamer. But anyways, I guess that's all for right now, brothers and sisters. Look, man. The only thing I can say is this: all throughout my life, whether when I was a kid, when you know how you are as an individual. Nobody needs to let you know how you are. When I was a kid, people would tell me, "Man, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. Be this way." As I started growing up, you know, my mom was real overprotective. She would say, "You better not be talking to no girls." Girls be talking to me, being friendly, and I wouldn't say nothing to them. or I said, "Mom, I'm going to the movies." She won't let me go to the movies. Then I would go to the movies, and I would sit against the wall. But he said, if I go to the movies to see what you're doing, there better be no girl beside you. So I'll be like one chair, and there'll be like 10 chairs, and there's a girl sitting in the corner. And when I look to the back, my mom be looking through the window like this, looking, and I'm already in junior high, and she'll be like, so I get home, and I miss my mom, I love my mom. I get home, ¿Quién era la muchacha esa? I said, ¿Qué muchacha? I said, the girl that was sitting by you. I said, there was no girl sitting by me. I said, there was 10 chairs in between me. There's 10 chairs and a lot of Holy Spirit in between there. And she said, I better not find out that you're there. She was like overprotective big time, man. So really, I never really had a girlfriend when I was in high school. I mean, I knew females that liked me and stuff like that, but she was protective. Basically, what I'm saying is, be yourself. Be who you are. Don't let nobody change who you are. Follow your heart. Like me, I'm being who I am right now. That's why when somebody comes at me a certain way, I just laugh because it doesn't matter what they tell me or how they can approach me. Doesn't matter. They contact me through Messenger and tell me that certain things are not allowed in the group. It's not going to stop me from being Abe Cias or Spiritual Abe, a person that always preaches about, always maintain the Love Foundation, don't dwell in negativity, forgive. It's not going to change me who I am. I'm going to continue to be like this. That's one thing. That's my mission, be me. But anyways, yeah, basically what I'm saying, don't let nobody stop you from your dreams. Be yourself, and follow your heart and do what you want to do in life. And this right now, this is my joy of what I do. This here in Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. I love making these videos and trying to help out people spiritually. But anyways, thank y'all, Brother Carlito and everybody else that tuned in. I believe it was Brother Chris Garcia, Sister Veronica Medrano, Primo Jesse, and Brother Eric. Thank y'all for tuning in. God bless every single one of y'all and your families. And nothing but blessings to y'all. And, what I am going to do is just continue to post pictures, like I've been doing. Like I said, I got a lot of pictures I hadn't even placed, but I'm going to continue to do those works. Everybody have a good evening. Peace out.